we have gotten so many texts from people who are like, yo, y'all gonna talk about this whole Jay-Z thing because everybody is mad at Jay-Z.
My God.
It's like the shirt that's real popular, like it says Detroit versus everybody, and it says like, Tampa versus everybody. It's like that whole thing. It is Hove versus the industry. It's almost like the equivalent of when Drake was getting a bunch of people coming at him for that beef thing, and he had to fight off everybody like he was like Thanos.
Yeah.
This is now, Jay-Z is now Thanos.
Yeah.
Because everybody is mad at him.
And the Avengers are Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Oh,
Birdman.
Nikki went ham.
Hurricane
And
Chris.
okay, so first of all, the elephant in the room is Hurricane Chris. Hurricane Chris is an artist that used to have a song called Hey Baby.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay, now that's who that is.
That's it. Okay.
Hey, baby.
He had another.
Oh,
he
okay.
had a call. He had two other ones, but I'm saying he ain't have a hot 6-pack.
Gotcha.
But he is very vocal. And he was like, when Shreveport had that big comedy festival with 50 Cent, he felt like 50 Cent was gentrifying the neighborhood, coming in to buy the block at a real cheap rate, throw a big show, and don't put any of the artists up there. Now, artists who were there, who were from the hometown, were like, yo, what are you talking about? We were all in it. It's just you wasn't involved.
Right.
And so he kind of like, fell on the sword and said, hey, I just want to work with 50. If he's going to do something like that, include all of us, whatever. So he kind of softened his tone.
Okay, cool.
But then Jay-Z does it in a grander fashion. And this is what we had to edit it up a lot.
Yeah.
Because Hurricane Chris had a lot to say.
Okay.
But this is what he had.
He was passionate.
Put it this way. Roger Goodell has put Hurricane Chris's picture at his front gate. He's like, if this dude show up, don't let him in.
So now you niggas understand it, huh? Same I was just saying 50 Cent did in Shreveport. Now it's happening in New Orleans on a bigger scale, so people like Master P come in on it, so now everybody understand. I just made this same statement, but I guess, because I ain't my brother, motherfucker get it. Well, I'm glad it's going down like it's going down. God told me to just sit back and motherfucker eyes was gonna be open. It don't matter whether you small or big. It don't matter whether you large. It don't matter whether you tiny. Homage is old. Respect is old. You supposed to pay respect to the mother that laid the foundation before you. I wouldn't give a damn what your organization is. I wouldn't give a damn how much money you spent. I wouldn't give a damn what you did. When you walk into a house, you speak to everybody who live in that house, and you pay respect to everybody who live in that house. I'm from the South. Now, wherever you from, you go do what you do wherever you go do it. But when you come to the South, y'all got to show more respect in this, bro. We got our own culture here. Coming down here laughing, playing games, thinking they just gonna use their money and take over everything. It ain't going down like that. We going back to that old law. You niggas on turf, gonna do what you're supposed to do, or you gonna pack your somewhere. All the nice guys out the window. Being nice, the cop deuces. Take back every nice word I said to you. Get your mind right, or we gonna make me mind right. Woo! How about that? Woo!
Okay, so Roger Goodell is upset. He's like, how did I get beat all of a sudden? All right, so listen. First of all, Hurricane Chris, you ain't got to worry about this because you're probably not going to be even in the Super Bowl. Okay, all right. Because a lot of people are beefing. Like, it's not like it's happening in the city like Shreveport.
Right.
This is in a closed, in the Superdome with $50,000 tickets. You're probably not going to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
All right? But I get the passion of it because it's rooted in the same anger where everybody like, yo, the ultimate problem is when Jay-Z did this deal, he got a lot of backlash because they were like, yo, Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and then Jay-Z comes in and takes the bag.
Yeah.
And, there were certain efforts that were taking the bag and getting a new job. We're mad at the NFL. Whoa, we working with the NFL? Like, people were confused. So Jay-Z explained, every city, I'm going to do something to pay homage to that city. That's what Hurricane Chris just said. You're going to pay homage. You come to these cities, you ain't going to be able to work. Now, I don't know how he thinks he's going to keep the Super Bowl takeover.
Right.
That happens, pretty big. But there's a screen grab that I grabbed this morning from a source that says, this isn't Jay-Z's decision. People don't understand that these decisions are actually given back to the city, and they make the final choice. But that's not what Jay-Z said at the beginning.
Nah.
Jay-Z said he was the person when they asked him, are you going to are you going to perform? And he says, no. He said, you know what? It'd be kind of selfish to pick myself.
Wow, he's really not used to getting so much hate. Look what happened.
It's rough. So now Nicki went ham.
She did.
On her Twitter, it says, got everything in the world, still spiteful and evil. Disgusting. Be happy. Go be happy. I'm rap business. I'm women's business. When you got politicians and police, you good though. Plus that ugly Laffy Taffy alien, bro, please. Then it says, tried to tell y'all, but y'all wanted to brunch. Because, see, everybody wanted to go to the Rock Nation brunch.
Exactly.
They had nothing to say about Hov.
Right.
And then she put, denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no other reason but your ego, your hatred for Birdman, for Drake, for Nicki, got you punishing Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, the GOAT. Nolia, what's good? Eminem stood firm on having 50 Cent come out with him and you and doing this.
I totally agree. I totally agree with her. She has a really good point as well.
Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing on text line too. They're like, even though his music's trash, Hurricane Chris is right.
I'm not going to say it's trash, but he's had his time.
I like that
He's
song.
had his time. There's some people out there who's like, who the hell is Hurricane Chris? Why he so mad? Like, you know, but then you say, hey, baby.
Hey,
you know,
baby,
like,
of
yeah,
course.
you okay. You know that. Halle Berry. Halle Berry. That, you know, he had some
Right.
records. But he's like, that standing on business thing, like, you can't keep the NFL from coming in.
Right. It's going to happen.
Especially because this deal is done and everybody who's getting paid is getting paid. But like he said, I don't care how much money you spending. We're not going to allow it to happen. So what does that mean? Because that sounds like, again, Roger Goodell and the NFL are pretty nervous.
Yeah, that sounds like a threat, but I don't think Hurricane Chris got the power to get rid of the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
That's kind of ridiculous. But I feel like Jay-Z is a puppet master. And at the end of the day, this is my opinion. And ultimately, he's the face of the music when it comes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He is the decision maker as well. So for him not to be like, oh, okay, maybe to step up and say something else besides whatever statement that you just read, I mean, that was just BS.
I mean, put it this way. Nicki put this one up last, and this was the most heartfelt one instead of angry. It says, God forbid if Wayne was to leave this earth right now. The culture would be in mourning. That's why so many people keep saying, give our legends their flowers while they're still around to smell them. Sitting around all day playing games with people's life and legacy, God ain't sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Can you even imagine how heartbroken everybody would be? Yeah, and I get it. Kendrick deserves his moment. We totally agree. But I don't know if it's this moment. We all wanted this. Most of us wanted this. It's embarrassing to see this happen.
One thing I will say, though, is like before Jay-Z stepped onto the scene, they weren't really doing a lot of hip-hop halftime shows.
No,
Let's be real. Jay-Z actually did have an influence on the hip-hop coming into the Super Bowl. Like, there are definitely a lot more.
Did.
Yeah, so like...
Don't you think there's some pettiness behind this?
But that was the whole point, because you have all of this disrespect towards, you know, I mean, the people who were pretty much the workforce. If you have a bunch of Mexicans that are on your workforce and you do things that are counterproductive for the Mexican culture, they can rise up and they can say, yo, man, we're out here putting in all of this sweat equity. Why are y'all dissing us, you know, and doing this, that, and the third? Like, why are y'all making us work on this holiday or whatever that's, you know, respectful to our culture? So that's what people were looking at when they were like, yo, there's kind of a disparity on how these men are being treated. And so they make a deal with Jay-Z, which is cool, and hip-hop gets a voice for the last 5 years, which is cool, and basically takes over The Voice, because we talked about it yesterday. Ain't nobody but, you know, Pop made it back to the stage yet. Des Bryant said exactly what you said when he put up a text yesterday and said, Hov got these folks shook. The NFL wasn't effing with the culture until Hov stepped in. Can't get mad at the one that played their cards right.
No, I think that this is a little different when it comes to this aspect. We're not talking about past performances and having Usher, Rihanna, Beyonce, and other performers. It's this, he missed the mark. I mean, he's got to step up and say something. And I don't think, in my opinion, as a Wayne fan, as a millennial that grew up watching him and was in love with him, Hot Boys, all that stuff, for Kendrick to bring him out is like not an option for me. I feel like that's a diss.
I think that honestly, if Kendrick brings him out, it's an honor move, but it's also a chess move because Kendrick is very methodical. We've already figured it out. He's Lex Luthor. He's Bane.
I like Kendrick.
He's
But that's not the performance that I wanted to see. I would rather the opposite.
But the opposite is, again, we talked about that yesterday. The Hot Boys being out there.
No. I just mean Wayne bringing out Kendrick. That would have been an awesome
That
look.
would have been a cool
Not,
moment.
Well, Wayne bringing out Kendrick would mean that Drake relationship is a wrap.
And that's what I was
there
going
you
to
go.
get to
There you
next.
go.
Yeah, which we kind of think it's a wrap anyway, but that would be like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, didn't Wayne play Kendrick's song at one of his concerts?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Which is why a lot of people were saying that
That's sus.
Lil Wayne doesn't mess with Drake anymore. But think about the message that Jay-Z is sending, not just saying like, hey, we're not going to choose you. We're also going to choose the person that hates your best friend or one of your best friends.
That would be crazy.
Even more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad because if you're in charge, you take the shot. Whatever bullets come at you, you take the shot. And I get it. Jay-Z was selling it like it's his decision. Now people are saying that it's not just solely his decision because he's catching these strays.
Yeah.
I really, really think that you can't readdress it, but I would hope, at least for hip-hop, that these two Carters sit down and have some sort of conversation so maybe they can have some sort of workable type of thing where he is a part of it. Maybe he's maybe Wayne is the welcome to the city and have a show that's there where it's more of the New Orleans thing, because they do multiple shows. The halftime show is the big deal. And I'm sure the partnership with Pepsi and all this other stuff was like really excited about the whole Kendrick thing. But you have to incorporate the city in some sort of way.
I really feel like, besides him, you do have to check with the city and make sure. I mean, Orlando, when it came to Wild Splash, you had to have many meetings and talk about artists and defend them and all that stuff. So yes, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens when it comes to booking people. But also, I feel like there is just so much pettiness behind this decision, and it's an embarrassment.
I mean, think about, okay, you just mentioned Wild Splash, which somebody actually, it was funny. My daughter were going to the Childish Gambino show, and somebody said Wild Splash because he mentioned it on stage when he broke his foot at Wild Splash, and one of the girls was like, "What's Wild Splash?" Oh, and it was so funny because two people turned around and were like, well, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 15. Like, oh, okay, we get it.
Oh, all right, so
they didn't know. But in the same kind of way, when people would get mad and say, man, why didn't you pick so-and-so, I'm like, yo, I might be the program director, but there are other people who decide. There's sponsors who are like, yo, I don't want that headliner because that headliner has a gun charge. Or there's the city who's like, wait, that person has riots at their concerts. We don't want that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We've had to negotiate and had to barter and had to do all kinds of stuff to bring certain people that they didn't want to rock with. So I can understand that it might not just be solely Jay-Z's decision, but he has the biggest sway because he's the flavor saver. Yeah. He's the guy that's like, hey, this would be good for the culture. Yeah. He's the voice in the room. That's the best advice I was ever given. Get in the room, then you can make the change. You can't make it from outside, Hurricane Chris. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can make a lot of noise, but you can't make a part of it if the play is being done at the conference table in the conference room.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I don't think Jay-Z's the end all be all. Like, even if he said like, hey, I don't want Lil Wayne there's still other people that he has to, like, his decisions get approved through. So it's not just Jay-Z's fault. Like let's be real here. You want to
be the front of the company, you want to make the decisions, and you want to talk about it and brag about it. Well, then you also have to take the heat.
Yeah, and that's the part that everybody is leading on, because when this deal first came down, Jay was explaining it a lot differently.
Right, exactly.
That he was the curator of this, that him and his team at Rock Nation were going to sit down and have things that reflect the local market, and nothing reflects the local market bigger than Weezy F Baby.
Of course.
Please say the baby.
Yeah, and Boosie was mad too. Everybody's mad.
Yeah, and Boosie, you're not getting up there. Okay, I get that Boosie's mad, but I mean, everybody can't get up there at the same time. When we said Usher was going to be up there, and everybody's like, oh, this person can do it, and this person can do it, and you didn't see that many people pop out there because Usher's like, no, this is my time, and L.A. Reid told him specifically, this is your time to shine. We need to make sure your message is being sent and not just bringing a bunch of people up there with you. So, you know, it's not gonna go away. It's ugly. And now Chris is, had his part said, and he's circling the Superdome right now, just in his little Fiat. He's circling the Superdome out there screaming out the window.
I think Kendrick could fix this.
It's not his job.
I think
Kendrick doesn't say extra stuff. He says stuff when it's time to pop out, and then he goes back into his lab. You won't hear anything from him. He's like, because I'll talk to y'all in February.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Thank you guys for watching the video. For all things wild, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.